Hello and welcome to Wingin It. And so we are back here with another game from the Wingspan World Cup. We are into the round of 16 at the moment here, and we are in our second game of the best of three in this round. So yeah, we won game one going first, so always getting off to a good start there is nice. But we've still got the rest of the job to try and do here. So as I say, we're coming into this game two, going second. Seeing that white sock in the tray definitely fills me with a little bit of dread, but who knows? We might get something good in our starting hand, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. And okay, a bit of a mixed bag, so of course Edwin's goal we like to see for a bit of card draw early on. And Hummingbird as well, normally something I would definitely be very, very happy to see, but of course, again, with that white stalk, giving food away to a player who has the white stalk definitely is dangerous and definitely not something that I feel too great about. But to be honest, considering the other options in the hand, yeah, not really sure what else to be doing here. So as with the previous game in this series, I should say as well, this is post-commentated, so I do know how this plays out, but I will try and give a bit of insight into what I was thinking at the time, but also maybe some of my reflections looking back on this game after the fact. So yeah, it looks like here we are. As I say, thinking about the Hummingbird and the goal. Definitely the plan in my head is to put those both in the wetlands, start drawing them. You know, hopefully, who knows, maybe I find a mute swan, maybe I find a bush tear or a blackbird or something else to really get this wetlands engine going. I mean, I'm going to be seeing lots of cards. With the Edwin's goal, that's a real strength there. Of course, that brown power, you look at two. From the deck, keep one and tuck one. So you definitely give yourself options. And yeah, being able to keep these two birds, I can easily get them both down within a few turns, start drawing, and see where that takes me. So of course, as I say, opponent picking up the white stalk early on. No surprises there. They're going to be looking to get that down pretty quickly, I would say. And yeah, we're going to play the goal first. So there's a couple of reasons behind this. Very subtle reasons, but reasons nonetheless to go for it. First of all, looking at that second end around goal, there's a very good chance that that egg might still be there, and it does count, so maybe just avoiding that turn, laying eggs, is handy. And the second reason is withholding the information that I have a Hummingbird. So I think if I'd played Hummingbird straight away, my opponent maybe wouldn't have gone for that Eurasian nuthatch. They maybe would have just played the white stalk and started laying eggs, expecting that free food to come in. So I think just by holding off there, did make them spend that extra turn picking up and playing the nuthatch. And yeah, potentially now, it might take them a little bit more time to get this white stalk out, and I think delaying that where possible is definitely key. So we are going to draw cards here. And yeah, black-headed goal pops up, so definitely an interesting one. Not really the kind of wetland bird I was looking for here, to be honest. If I had found that before playing the Hummingbird, I'd be in a lot better shape here, because I think stealing the food is a much better way of getting it than giving it to them with the Hummingbird. You know, you can cause that little bit of nuisance, that bit of chaos. But it doesn't quite work when you're also giving them food at the same time. So yeah, like I say, definitely was kind of hoping for more of a point generator. But it could be an option, so we are going to take the worm here. Definitely not keen on using this Hummingbird too early on. My preference would have been to skip it, but we kind of get what we're looking for. Barn Swallow coming up, so I'll definitely take it, and very handy, very fortunate to already have the worm, having got that there. So yeah, no second thought. We've got to get this down. We've got to start using this Barn Swallow, using that tuck and draw power, score points, dig through the deck a little bit more. And yeah, my opponent now, through a combination of course, my Hummingbird, but also just them taking food, they have the white stalk food, so that goes down. No great surprises. And yeah, it's time for us to do the digging. So yeah, it's really important, I think, to try and find that extra wetland bird. So like I say, we're looking for the bush tit or the blackbird, and you'll see that we're skipping the Hummingbird. So yeah, my kind of approach here is to try and, as I say, limit the amount of food I'm giving. I really don't like giving food out early, especially here to a player with good access to eggs and cards through the white stalk. Feels like you're just giving them that little missing piece. So if I can skip it, I will. I'm going to try and be a little bit patient and wait and see. I mean, ultimately, if I can find a Chiffchaff, that's the dream. Because you can just run that wetlands and not use the Hummingbird anymore. And of course, it only needs one food, so I think I can be a little bit patient here and just wait and see what comes up. But for now, we're actually going to lay eggs. So I was kind of looking at this end around, looking at my opponent. They only had that white stalk down as the platform nest spaces, so only got 2. I can lay eggs a couple of times and win this end around, and I think that's worth it. For a couple of reasons, my wetlands at the moment is actually only 2 points. So laying eggs is the same number of points. I'm going to need to lay eggs at some point anyway for playing extra birds, setting up this wetlands. And yeah, actually, again, looking ahead to this second end of round, potentially there's something to do there. So we do win the end of round. And we come here into round 2, and yeah, not an exciting trade, not a great trade. So it is just going to be time to do the digging. And yeah, we are just desperately hoping for a wetland bird. I'm going to pick up the flycatcher there. Half for a denial. I think that would be very nice for them as a second spot in the grasslands. But also, I have got Prairie Manager, so maybe if there's a bit of extra food, maybe I do play this black-headed gull. That could be a nice one to play. Very good for the next end around as well. So disaster kind of strikes because Catbird down with the Stork. My opponent here is just going to be seeing so many cards. And yeah, that is why I'm skipping this Hummingbird still. I don't really have anything that I'm dead set on playing yet. I think the black-headed gull is potentially an option, but like I said, at this point I'm really hoping and gambling. I mean, I'm seeing 5 cards a turn. I should be expecting to find another Tucking Bird, Mute Swan, as I say, Chiffchaff, Bush Tip Blackbird, any sort of tucking power really. I'm not going to be too fussy, so yeah, I'd rather kind of skip that and just look at the cards and really avoid giving the food to my opponent. So, and we do find a bronze cowbird here, so that tempts me here into taking the food. So yeah, pink powers against the grasslands engine, always good. So I've got a little bit of space as well on the hummingbirds, and maybe I can clear off the this barn swallow if I can find some more wetland birds to play. And of course, it hits Prairie Manager, so another potentially good reason there. But yeah, we're still just not finding the stuff. I was definitely getting frustrated at this point, just drawing cards so much and not finding these additional wetland birds. And to kind of top it all off, my opponent is also finding tuck and draw. So yeah, Purple Martin coming out was definitely a bit of a kick in the teeth. So I think originally they would have been planning to copy the White Stalk power with their Catbird and just see loads and loads of cards. But now with a Purple Martin, tuck and draw, it's card cycle, it's point scoring. You can easily switch up to copying that, and like 5-point engine now in this grasslands with card draw as well. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's definitely scary. And again, having to give out the food with this hummingbird, not feeling too great. So really desperately hoping that somewhere down the line, at some point soon, hopefully, we can find this Chiffchaff, because I think it's basically Chiffchaff or broke. You know, we're not really gonna have too much other chance. Saying that, finally a tuck and lay comes up. So Blackbird probably just about in time here. No questions asked, we go and pick that up. And yeah, the difficult decisions on the hummingbird, just checking what my opponent's got, what's their food situation. Of course, they can always discard some of these extra cards in the forest to get a bit more food. But yeah, I'm really just trying to work out at this point what's going to get played. I've still got this cowbird potentially that I want to get down, but the feeder doesn't really look good for that. So might be better off waiting, let my opponent reset the feeder if they're going to go and take food before using this hummingbird again. So we do skip in the end. And yeah, I think the plan is just going to be to get that blackbird down. That's going to be huge. Just a big upgrade on the engine. So as I say, only scoring 2 points a turn at the moment in this wetlands. This is going to bump it up to 4 for as long as that egg space is available. So just gives us another option for tucking and scoring points. But still, the dream is going to be try and find that mute swan, try and find that Chiffchaff. That's really the goal here. But I think in the meantime, we do have still a little bit to work towards. So still got that cowbird, potentially try and get that down as a bit of a defense. And yeah, maybe just kind of see where that is going to take us as well with a bit more digging. But blackbird is going to go down. It's good that we laid those eggs in the previous round. We had 2 on the barn swallow to use up. So again, good for potentially that cowbird later. But clearing out 2, still having 1 on there. We are looking good in this end of round, so my opponent does finally find a ground nest bird, so they go and play the long spur there. But it's only 1, so we are going to win this end of round. And definitely unusual, I think, in a full tuck situation normally. You're the one struggling in the end of rounds and watching the grasslands player win them. But to win the first 2, I think was definitely nice. And I think definitely just having a bit of heads-up play there in that first round, especially laying those eggs, definitely helped here win a couple of end-of-round goals. So, and we are getting some other good birds. You see we did pick up another pink power. Hidden somewhere in our hand is the common cuckoo. So, yeah, potentially another one to look at getting down. We're getting things like the hooded warbler. There's a sparrowhawk in there as well for a nice cheap play with no food. You might have seen their snow bunting just popped up at the end of round. So, yeah, kind of 2 ways of looking at that. A little bit annoying that we didn't find it, but also relief maybe that my opponent didn't get that with their stalk. So, yeah, maybe one less thing for me to worry about. But yeah, this engine they've got is just so good. I mean, it's 6 points. You lay your 4 eggs, you get your 2 tucks. And just the card cycle and the number of cards you're seeing with that stalk as well. As I say, I was definitely not feeling in a great position here. And of course, with all of this free food I'm throwing out, not doing too good for me there. But we do have a chaffinch in the tray. Now, it's not the Chiffchaff. It's not the one I wanted. But it is potentially something. And with this bruised blackbird here, I'm sort of trying to think almost, okay, how many points could we be getting in our grasslands later in this game? If we played the cowbird and the bruised blackbird, they both hit the prairie manager. So there's a few points there. And then you add the chaffinch into the mix. You could potentially be laying 3 eggs, getting 3 tucks, and then getting a tuck and an egg as well on the blackbird. 8 points. It's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all for a final round engine. So, of course, we're going to need a bit of food. So, hummingbird definitely helping out there. But we've got options. We have got options. And yeah, at this point of the game for me, it's about working out, can I win if I go for this grasslands? Or is my only chance of winning finding a Chiffchaff? Because I think even at this point, we would just have so many cards that we would just be able to tuck for basically as many turns as we want to do that. So you see, we think about playing the black-headed gull there just to maybe get a bit more food and play some of these big point birds. So many options here. This is kind of almost the downside of drawing so much and having so many cards in your hand. Is almost being overwhelmed by too many options. I definitely did feel that a little bit here. In the end, we go with the cowbird. I think that was the safer play. Again, if I play the black-headed gull, I'm kind of committed to playing birds later and using this hummingbird a lot more for sure as well. I'm kind of maybe relying on being able to steal the right food. Whereas cowbird, I know definitely going to get points from that. Definitely helps the bonus cards. So. Yeah, we've got some things to think about, got some things to pay attention to. But as I say, I've got to be working out at this point. Do I just gamble? Do I just go, Hail Mary almost and keep digging for this Chiffchaff? Because at the moment, I'm going to say it again, it's a 4-point engine. If we find that Chiffchaff, that is another 5. So we're potentially getting 9 points in that end game for as long as we have egg space on that blackbird. But even when that fills up, it's still 8 points, which is just, yeah, scarily strong. So yeah, I'm trying to sort of do the calculations in my head. I know I'm just so far behind at this point in the game. We'll try and sort of block some good stuff for my opponent. Red-eyed Vireo definitely would help them with the egg space problem. But yeah, we've got to work out here. Time is running out. It's getting sort of very, very close in towards this end game. I'm gonna have to work out, do I keep digging? At what point do I play birds like the chaffinch and maybe the bruised blackbird as well, and just focus on egg laying, because we're going to want to play some birds for this end of round goal. Might have a difficult time winning it, but that last one as well, filled columns, I'm thinking we can maybe, if we do some double plays, that Vireo might be good for me as well. We're going to be able to potentially get some filled columns. So we're going to do Vireo to Sparrowhawk here. I think this is maybe just killing off a little bit of time, but it's a good play. I mean, it's 7 points basically here. after the egg cost for just 1 food, and does maybe go some way to helping with the filled columns. So yeah, this clears an egg off the blackbird. So as I say, this just gives me another turn drawing. I think at this point in my mind, I'm still trying to work out if I can find this Chiffchaff. But yeah, we've only 7 turns left. Time's running out. And you would have seen as well, my opponent, they played the Mockingbird. So yeah, there we go. What an engine to have. Definitely didn't like seeing that, but just adds another point, adds more egg space and more card cycle. So yeah, for sure they're going to be continuing to lay eggs, and no doubt finding some nice big point plays to get down. It's at least relieving that we have got some nice big point plays in our hand, because it means they don't have them. But there are still some notable exceptions. So, you know, Benelli's Eagle is still out there somewhere. I have not seen it. It is for sure going to pop up eventually. But there we go. More cowbird eggs coming through. Vario, another reason for playing that is, of course, a bit more egg space there. So we're going to keep drawing. We're going to keep tucking. And again, still not really finding what we're getting. We get a reroll at least. And worms and seeds is kind of what we're looking for. If we're thinking about blackbird, if we're thinking about chaffinch, that's the food we kind of want for those. So yeah, like I say, we're just trying to find almost the birds in our hand. They're all hidden somewhere, but just kind of assessing the options and making sure that we, have the right food to go with whatever it is we try to do. So King Rail, again, not great for me, but a relief that they don't have it. That would be a good one for them with all the egg space for sure. So 64 points, got to be said, is actually not too shabby. I think when I looked at that, it was definitely higher than I expected. So maybe some of these free eggs are helping here, and of course those 2 end of round goal wins. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that we can turn it around here and pull off a bit of a surprise win. But yeah, like I say, it's a tricky end game. It's tricky here working out what to do. I remember at the time when I was playing this, really feeling unsure about whether I, commit and still keep digging and go for that Hail Mary play of finding that Chiffchaff, or if I do settle and try and go for the grass. And so we come to our last turn here of the round. The blackbird is full, and I didn't know what to do. I had no idea. I could play the chaffinch here. I think that is what I'm going to go and do at the end, and that was safe. I had the food for it. Clears the egg off the blackbird. Means I can safely draw going first in this final round and get the egg on that. So that is indeed what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and draw cards, and oh my, we found it. We finally found it after a whole game of digging. I almost couldn't believe it. Almost couldn't believe my eyes that it finally came up. So definitely kind of bittersweet that I did play that chaffinch, because potentially if I'd drawn cards, I would have found it earlier. I would have been able to play it straight away, and have more turns tucking at the end here. But like I say, I was kind of playing it safe, getting the chaffinch down. Did save the egg, and potentially with this filled columns end around, that does come into play as well. But we found it, and we can get the food with the hummingbird, and we can just get that down. And I think the end game here is simple. We play that Chiffchaff, and then we just draw cards. So obviously only 1 point to play it, but like I said, 9 points each time we're drawing cards is very, very nice. So we spoke about not seeing Benelli earlier. Of course, that meant my opponent found it. So as I say, definitely annoying. You don't like to see the eagles come up for the other player. But yeah, just with the amount of cards, the volume of cards they were digging through and seeing, you do kind of expect that it's going to show up at some point. But yeah, here we go. 76 points with 3 turns left. So like I say, probably quite straightforward here. We're going to be drawing cards. I think the only thing that would stop me drawing cards would be if I find the other eagle. So of course, big points. Hits the bonus card as well. Prairie Manager might need to try and get some points off that. But my opponent going for food, so they've clearly found some stuff they want to play. I'm thinking about this end around with the fill columns. They might be doing some kind of double play in their wetlands, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to focus on my tucking. So yeah, 5 tucks on the Chiffchaff, tuck and an egg on the blackbird, another tuck on the swallow, and then the gull. So that's our 9 points coming through. And I'm just kind of hoping it's enough. I'm definitely worrying it was too little too late. I'm definitely thinking to myself, oh, man, if only that Chiffchaff, if that could have come up just a few turns sooner, how nice that would have been, and how much more relieving it would have been had it come up at that time. But there goes the big double play that I was dreading. And yeah, that is definitely nice, as I say, for the center round. Helps with a bit of egg space as well. So I think for them with 2 turns left and 8 egg spaces, it's just going to be laying eggs twice. So yeah, 7 points a time is strong. Is definitely strong to follow up from that double play. So I'm sort of calculating, I'm counting, I'm working out what are my chances here. And yeah, if that other eagle does come up, is that potentially going to change things a little bit? But yeah, we're just going to lay our eggs or tuck our cards even, I should say. And yeah, maybe do some additional tucking on, of course, these other birds. So still 9 points. Blackbird, I think now it has run out of egg space, is of course going to let us down a little bit. We're going to miss out on that 1 point, but not a whole lot we can do with with just 1 turn left. It is I think just going to be, yeah, a bit more egg laying or a bit more tucking on those birds in the wetlands. So definitely had some options here. Of course, I was thinking a little bit about the pipit and, you know, maybe get the food to play that through the hummingbirds, hit the bonus card and gamble on another one and, you know, maybe find bird counter or something. But yeah, I think, again, that's sometimes where this calculation comes down to. You got to work out, okay, do I go for the Hail Mary? Do I go for the big gambles? Or do I just take the safe 8 points that I get through tucking in this wetlands? Yeah, we are indeed going to go and do that. So we'll chuck the egg for no other reason than we can, because we're just going to get it back. We would have missed it anyway. So yeah, we don't find anything great, but to be honest, I'd have been annoyed if I found the other eagle on this turn. So yeah, maybe relieving more than anything else that it didn't come up. But yeah, we're done with our turns. We did everything we could. My opponent did play another wetland bird, so I'd say kind of saw that coming. It is what it is. And we go here into the final scores. So yeah, this is going to be a tale of 2 boards here. So my opponent definitely stronger in the birds. Definitely had some nice bonus cards as well compared to ours. Even split on the end of round goals. Of course, they had a lot of eggs, but it is all for us about these tuck cards. So yeah, we've got a bit of a mountain to climb. What is the score? Our opponent sets 120. That's going to be a tough one to beat. Can we catch up? With our tuck cards, we cannot. We fall short here. 107 is the total for us to 120. So yeah, like I say, if that Chiffchaff came up a little bit sooner, maybe we had a shot. But I mean, just looking at my opponent's board, it takes a bit of a miracle to beat this, I've got to be honest. White Stork, Catbird, Martin, and Mockingbirds. And then Benellius, of course, to top it off as well. Difficult pill to swallow facing up against that. So yeah, 13 points back. Again, you know, that's basically 3 more turns of tucking with the Chiffchaff gets me another 15 points. So there's potential. There is potential. I think if that Chiffchaff had come up earlier, we could maybe have pulled off a bit of an upset. But it is what it is. You know, I was basically digging for 1 bird in the deck. So maybe I consider myself lucky that it showed up at all. But difficult game, difficult one to take. But we're going to take it on the chin nonetheless. And that ties the series at 1-1. So we go here into that deciding game 3, where the winner is going to go through and the loser is knocked out. So if you want to see that game, if you want to stay tuned for that, please do stick around. Please do hit the subscribe button so you get notified when that comes out. And I will see you for that one very, very soon.